because of the weight disadvantage.
Dude, can you imagine, bro? You're fighting Canelo Alvarez, man. Nobody ever heard of you. Nobody even knows your name, all that stuff, bro.
But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo is so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. Weight classes matter.
In response to rumors that Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez would face off, Floyd Mayweather called the bout a strong matchup, but cautioned Crawford to exercise caution. He stressed that boxing isn't a sport to play with, especially given the obvious weight difference, and urged Crawford to consider his options carefully before entering the ring.
And it's a good matchup with those two. You know, may the best man win. But this sport is something that you can't play with. Boxing is something that you can't play with.
Terence. Crawford claims that the Canelo bout is a huge challenge because he likes difficulties and is determined to disprove everyone. While others criticize him for selecting Canelo, claiming he is too big, he asserts that no one is that big and believes in his abilities. Crawford wants to demonstrate that he can manage it.
Because of the challenge. Yeah. I love the challenges. And I love the people that I hear them now. You too little. You know, Canelo gonna break you. He's gonna stop you. You come from 147, that weight too big, this and that. I can hear now. And that just excites me to go in there and just be like, okay, let me prove him wrong once again.
That fight would be gigantic. If Canelo gets through Jamel and then you guys fight, that fight would be gigantic.
And it's crazy because, like, in the past interviews, I was like, man, Canelo too big, man. It's weight classes for a reason. I was like, nah.
Weight classes are the cornerstone of boxing. For a reason, they serve as safeguards against opponents whose size and strength could be dangerous obstacles, not only as formalities. One obvious issue that keeps coming up when the conversation shifts to Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez is the stark weight disparity. Crawford has established himself in classes much below Canelo's 168-pound weight limit. Analysts and fighters alike are worried that Crawford may not be able to manage this sudden increase in weight.
They have weight divisions for a reason, right or wrong?
Right. Manny Pacquiao, bro.
Okay.
What's your take on Manny?
Pacquiao didn't move up 3 weight divisions at once.
Okay.
Fight a pound-for-pound fighter.
Okay, so Canelo's got it. How does Canelo get it done?
I don't know, man. It might be the boringest fight ever. It might be the best fight ever. But I will tell you this. It's not a fight I truly care about. Crawford's not really entertaining. So I don't really care about how he fights. But I will tell you like this. He's a tremendous fighter. He's a great fighter. But he's not really entertaining outside the ring. There's nothing that makes me want to be like, I can't wait to see the next Terence Crawford fight.
O'Reilly, current combatants aren't keeping their thoughts to themselves either. Romero pointed out the glaring size disparity between Crawford and Canelo and publicly declared that weight divisions exist for a purpose. On the basis of physique alone, he even forecast a Canelo victory. Famously defeating a young Canelo, Alvarez Floyd Mayweather recently thought back on his own experience. Mayweather made it apparent that Canelo wasn't the same boxer he is now, despite the fact that he won that fight. Since that loss, Canelo has developed into a formidable force, becoming stronger, more mature, and physically domineering. Even though he was older at the time of their fight, Mayweather admitted that he was still aware of Canelo's strength and potential.
Crazy that, Canelo said that, because when Canelo fought me, he was in his prime. And when I fought, I was an old man, so I wasn't in my prime when I fought Canelo. I was an old man when I fought Canelo. Just like this right here, young guy, even though I'm old, I got a lot of experience. I'm gonna go out there and just show him that this is the elite level and it's something totally different.
Although he respects both boxers, rising star David Benavidez expressed a more mixed sentiment, acknowledging that he would rather this bout never took place. Benavidez is aware that Canelo is currently the boxing money fight that everyone wants to watch. However, he feels worried about Crawford's sudden weight increase. He believes that striving for greatness is noble, but it shouldn't come at the expense of safety or justice.
You guys see this. Terence Crawford, tremendous fighter. You're a big supporter of his. He wants to move up 3 weight classes and fight Canelo. What do you think?
He can do what he wants, but I don't think that's a good idea.
Why?
I just don't think it's a good idea. You know, I don't think, what would he have? I don't know. I just don't think it's a good idea. People have done things crazy like that before. It's just that he doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to do it.
Although he respects both boxers, rising star David Benavidez expressed a more mixed sentiment, acknowledging that he would rather this bout never took place. Benavidez is aware that Canelo is currently the boxing money fight that everyone wants to watch. However, he feels worried about Crawford's sudden weight increase. He believes that striving for greatness is noble, but it shouldn't come at the expense of safety or justice.
Crawford throwing his hat in to want to fight Canelo at 168.
I mean, everybody wants to fight Canelo. It's the money fight. You know what I mean? I think even Inoue would come up to fight Canelo. Canelo wanted to fight him. I mean, I don't want to see Crawford to fight Canelo, to be honest with you. But it would be. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a great fight. It would be a great fight. But I feel like if I deserve my opportunity, and and after this fight, what else are they gonna say? You know what I mean? This is a tough fight. You know, the top WBC, the top people ranked at the WBC are fighting each other. So I mean, it should be an easy call. If I can't get those fights, then I'll go up to fight Bivol, or I'll go try to, you know, I set my conquest on 175. Like I said, I don't want no handouts either. I want to, you know, earn my spots everywhere I go, even at 175. But you know, I see that weight class. You know, I want to become champion at 175, and that's exactly.
One of the most sincere cautions came from Amir Khan, who has already shared the ring with Canelo. Khan acknowledged that in retrospect, he had misjudged the significance of the size difference. He emphasized that he discovered the reason for weight classes the hard way and called Canelo a beast. His advice to Crawford was straightforward. Use cautious.
Canelo's the beast, man. Canelo's the beast. And you know, when it was offered to me, I tried to chase the Mayweather fight at that time, and it happened. And obviously, I was probably at my peak of my career there as well. So, whoever I was going to fight, I was going to give him a hard fight regardless. Because we were probably winning that fight against Canelo until he knocked me out. But, yeah, I was boxing well. But you know, one thing, sizes. Now I understand why they make weight divisions in boxing. Every weight division. But then again, look, bro, you would probably take it. I was offered like 10 million quid, bro. 10 million quid, bro. Look, end of the day, this is like, it's a lot of money, you know. I thought about it. What made me, when I got the deal on the table for 10 mil, I was like, should I take it or not? But then I worked it out. Normally, I have to have 3 or 4 hard training camps and fights to make that kind of money. That's still one fight. So you gotta do it in that one fight, you know what I mean?
Does Canelo beat Crawford?
Size, bro, remember, like, Crawford then is a big boy as well. Crawford's a big guy when it comes to weight. A box fight, yeah.
What do you think?
I think Crawford, in my opinion, but size might matter. But then again, I think since when I fought Canelo's become a better boxer. He started boxing more better. You know what I mean? Technical more. Especially against the last fight against Mangui. He boxed really well as well, and he's looking really good. He's still, a lot of people might say, oh, he's getting old, this and another, but no, Canelo's still a beast.
I mean, Eddie Hearn says don't lift levels above Adam. What do you think?
I think today Adam proved he is probably on the same level, but in my opinion, both guys want to fight each other.
Boxing analyst in show business, the adult provided a terrifying perspective by describing how he heard Canelo's punches up close and how frightening they sounded, even when they weren't delivered with full force.
Spaceman Films. What up, Biz? Who you got? Canelo Crawford.
Yeah, got Canelo. I heard the punches that he hit Charlo with. I don't know if Crawford can absorb those punches. I know he's a great man and a great warrior. But you come from 147 to put on a better fight than Charlo. I mean, I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that Crawford is so great and he can do that, or that means that Charlo set the bar so damn low that anybody could do better than Charlo did last night.
Do skill really pay the bill? Because that would be tested.
Skill pays the bill. That's why Canelo feels.
Joe Rogan, a longtime fight commentator, emphasized how hard Canelo hits. Rogan wasn't analyzing strategy or footwork. He was focused purely on the physical damage Canelo can inflict.
Just guys that just have preposterous power, and Canelo is a guy that has power but is constantly working on it. There's a great clip of him working with Andy Ruiz. You know that shield, that weird hand shield that they hold up for hooks.
Yeah.
And he's like, "This is not for speed. This is just power. Just power." He's like, "Don't try to be fast with this. Just power." And you see him just, hey, boom. Bro, he hits so hard.
Sports pundit Stephen A. Smith also didn't mince words. In a live interview, he stated unequivocally that he detested the fight's concept. Smith feels that Crawford is at risk because of the disparity in strength and weight.
Let me tell you what I think should be gone. The notion that Terence Bud Crawford should move up 3 weight classes and 21 pounds to fight Canelo Alvarez. He's entirely too small. Jermell Charlo already proved that. Y'all remember that scene from Rocky? Remember that scene from Rocky 2? When Carl Weathers was Apollo Creed and his trainer was like, "Can I be honest? I saw you beat this man within an inch of his life." And he kept coming. He wouldn't go away. He's wrong for us, baby. He's wrong. Let it go. Apollo couldn't do it and lost fight number 2. Trained him for Rocky 3 and then got killed in Rocky 4 by Drago. Because he couldn't let it go. Bud Crawford needs to let it go. Too small.
Julio Cesar Chavez, the legendary Mexican fighter, made a direct prediction. Crawford will be knocked out if he continues with this battle. Although Chavez respects Crawford's skills, he feels that Canelo's strength at 168 is just too much. His decades of expertise give this warning a lot of weight.
The two fighters are going to be different weight classes, even though they're going to fight on a specific weight. He believes that they're just going because of the money, Crawford, but probably Canelo is going to knock him out.
In addition to acknowledging Crawford's boxing prowess, Sean Garcia said that Canelo's physical presence puts up a barrier that may be impossible to overcome.
Crawford? Yeah. I think Canelo's just too big for Crawford. I mean, Terence Crawford is another, amazing fighter. Got to give credit when it's due. He's an amazing fighter. He's very talented, and he'll for sure give Canelo a fight. And Canelo knows that. But I feel like Canelo will use, his experience, his weight, and how big he is, and I think he'll overpower Terence Crawford like in the late.
Garcia thinks that in this specific clash, physical strength and size may be more important than technique.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement. If you're Terence Crawford in that fight, the last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
Yeah.
A lot of people that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. A lot. Okay, Madrimov was a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat
Canelo versus William Skull.
William who?
Oscar, being back in New York over here.
No, let's just say Canelo Crawford, in the history of boxing, and this is the facts.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
If you see Thursdays, Fact Thursdays, I speak the facts. All right, I'll even do it for you. A good little man has never beaten a good big man in the history of the game, unless you go back to certain situations with Pacquiao beat me, but I was a dead man walking anyway. But a good little man never beats a good big man, so it's a tough test for Crawford, but I'm not counting him out. The bottom line, and this is the truth again, it's a money grab. That's it. Yeah. But Crawford doesn't rely on his power, he relies on his IQ. Crawford, what he did to Spence was magic, was incredible, was amazing. And so, look, one thing about Canelo is that we all know that he walks in the ring as if there's wet cement, right? His footwork is a little too heavy. Crawford is such a smart fighter where he can he's like Bruce Lee, literally. And he's in his peak, he's in his prime, and so I think that if that fight ever happens, which I don't think it will, if that fight ever happens, I have to go with Crawford.
There you have it, Oscar De La Hoya talking about Crawford.
I think Terence Crawford is a marvelous boxer, arguably the best in the world, pound for pound. But can you hurt Canelo? If you can't hurt him, I have no doubt he can outbox him. My issue is, if you can't hurt him, what kind of a challenge can you truly pose? What do you say to that?
No, that's a great point. I mean, here's the thing. Canelo Alvarez has a historically great chin. Now, I go way back when he first came to the United States and started boxing, and he found himself on an HBO pay-per-view undercard years and years ago, fighting against the older brother of the great Miguel Cotto. His name was Jose Miguel Cotto, and he had gotten a ton of hype. He had signed with Golden Boy Promotions, and a lot of those of us in the media. And I had seen him a couple of times before that. This is my first time seeing him in person, really paying close attention. And he almost got knocked out in the first round. And I remember Stephen A., all of us looking around at Media Row going, what the heck is this all hype about? This man can't take a shot. He's going to get drilled. He was lucky that the fight was over, that the round was over in round one, or there might have been some much more trouble. Stephen A., that was 16, 17 years ago. I've never seen him wobbled, rocked, physically, visibly hurt since then. He has an all-time great chin going in the ring with tremendous punchers. Terence Crawford coming up 2 weight classes, do any damage? Yeah, he's a slick boxer, and he's also a good puncher in the welterweight division, in the junior welterweight division, in the lightweight division. But even at junior middleweight, which is where Terence Crawford had his most recent fight back in August, when he moved up and he won a world title, he didn't blow the doors off. He fought a very tough, solid opponent named Israel Madrimov. He gave him a good fight. It was very close. Madrimov's people seem to think he might have even been able to edge it out. But if you can't hurt an Israel Madrimov at 154, what the heck are you going to do with Canelo Alvarez, the sturdiest guy in the world, at 168? So that aspect of it is certainly a problem. You mentioned about Charlo. Charlo was there to get his check. I know one thing about Terence Crawford. He's not going to just come to turn up to get the check. He'll at least try. And Charlo, I don't think really...